All right, we are live. There, you happy, doorknob head? I seen your comments. They show up. You whiny little bitch, you. All right, I'm just kidding. We are back. It is the Just Jeff after party. He's currently chowing down a little bit now, so he's muted himself. And and so far, of course, we've got with us the guest of honor tonight, Jeff, of course, and Jen has joined us all the way from the penis of the United States called Florida. We also have IQ, who's also with us. And we're expecting more, because I know Russ, who's also known as Frustrated Atheist, was whining a little bit about wanting to jump in here. So Mark's like, geez, about time. Yeah, sorry, guys. We had a few issues we had to deal with before we went live. That's all it was. But, wanted to make sure Jeff got to eat as much of his meal as he possibly could before we went live. And Jen was having some issues with the computer. And, but we're here now. And that's the most important thing. And you're still here with us. Well, look at this. Finally. Nice. I'll be right back. Apparently, Jen has frozen again. So we're going to remove Jen from the chat here, and I'm going to have to forcibly kick them from the studio. And she will join us again in a few minutes. All right.
Lovely.
Yeah. I mean, Jen's going through a lot of shit right now. Her dad has cancer. However, it's a treatable one, so there's hope on the horizon, we'll say.
My mother's actually a 2-time breast cancer survivor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Did she have to get them removed or anything? Or?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, complete double mastectomy.
Yeah.
All works. But still alive, so, that's what counts,
Tons
right?
of made a good point here. The penis of the U.S. is back in the White House. You couldn't get enough cigarettes in my mouth at one time. There's actually, I don't have it. Unfortunately, the person that had this footage, we did some, back when you could use, he had a video recorder that actually you put a VHS tape into to videotape stuff. And we were just farting around at my mom's place. She was working a night shift. And it was me and my buddy Eric, who's the one that did the video recording, and my friend Kevin and my friend Patrick, and we're all just sitting around. And we're all seeing how many cigarettes we could stuff in our mouth at the same time and light them, get them all going at the same time. And of course, I put an entire pack of them in my mouth, and I had them all lit up. And he's got it all on video. And I bugged him for years to get a copy of the video, which I never got. And what did he have to do? He went up and died on me. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, it's not a happy thing, because he was one of my best friends, although we stopped talking, and it was ridiculous too. We stopped talking about 4 years before he passed away, so I hadn't even talked to him. He sent me one message back in 2010, I believe, when my dad passed away, to send me his condolences, which I replied, thank you very much, because but anyway, so yeah, he passed away. He ended up with ALS, and he had that video, and his brother doesn't talk to me now either. So I don't think I'll ever see that footage. But that's what I did. I had an entire, but I do have a whole bunch of cigarettes right here. You want to see how many I can stick in my mouth right now?
I will challenge you. Hold up.
I don't know, brother. I got a big fucking mouth.
Loser.
Put it this way, I'd be popular in prison.
Loser skulls a beard.
Loser skulls a beer? What, you mean you're going to hit me in the head with one?
I've seen this cigarette thing attempted so many times, and assuming that they're lit, I've never seen it end well.
I can't smoke inside, but I'll see how many I can shove in there.
Also, I'm back, and everything is running a lot smoother. I think I just had to restart my laptop.
Oh, there you go. So I don't even know how many this is right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay, this is all the cigarettes I have, but I know I could do more than this.
11, 12, 13, 14 cigarettes right here. My sister just passed away a couple of months ago from breast cancer. Oh, sorry to hear that, Steve. To tell the truth, I couldn't get enough cigarettes in my mouth at one time. Well, I highly doubt I could put all of these in there.
2,
So this is,
4,
what did I say? 14?
6, 8, 9. Okay, so I only have 9 on me, but I know I could do at least double that.
Yeah, video where it didn't happen, pal.
There was a video of me circulating on the internet on meme forums where I had like 24 cigarettes in my mouth all lit, and like I was just doing a dumb dance. This was like before Fortnite, so thankfully it wasn't super cringe, but like
See, what you got to do is you're going to take this however you're going to take it, but we'll get through it. Open up your mouth as wide as you can, measure it, get a measurement, get as many cigarettes that fits into that measurement, wrap them together with a rubber band, pop them right in, bam. See, I can only say something like that while Neil's got his mouth full.
you're gonna hurt yourself. You're gonna get jaw lock.
No. Everything went south when somebody told a joke. He sucks the middle one in.
I love the taste of fiberglass in my stomach. Yo, okay, I know this magic trick. It's not really a magic trick, but like I've scammed people out of free beer doing this. I bet someone that I could cut a lime in half with a cigarette, and the ante is either like a Moscow Mule or a beer. And what you do is you just melt the end of the cigarette, the filter, and then you cut the lime with it because it's just fiberglass.
Yep.
I don't think I've owned that many cigarettes at one point in time in my life. This is reminding me of that old meme photo. Hold on.
See, I don't know what's better, this feat that Neil's doing right now, or the what the fuck did I sign up for look on Jeff's face.
That's about all I'm going to get in there. Once you get past, let's see how many that was. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 really wet filter, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. So that's 2 packs.
Someone be a friend and put that link in chat. That's what that reminded me of.
What link? Huh?
The link I put in the private chat. I can't. I'm not on the stream on my laptop. I'm on the stream on my iPad, and I'm too lazy to. You know what? Never mind.
Pardon me, I'm busy.
All right. Well, I lost technically, so I'll scull the beer.
Skull. Dude, you didn't even taste that. Jeff, are you joining us now?
I'm here.
Microphone? No, I know, but you're muted, so. You know.
Well, I unmute when I talk.
Oh.
I'm courteous. Ethical trolling.
Ethical trolling. Here we go again.
All I taste is oranges. Actually, no, that's grapefruit.
What, is that Shock Top? Or?
No, it's Goose Island Beer Company's Next Coast IPA. That's it's pretty good. It's not that strong though. Usually I go for stouts, but I don't have any stout because my parents don't drink stout. Well, my dad doesn't drink.
IQ said hard on.
Huh?
All right.
Boner joke.
What's on fire? Is something on fire there? Seriously? Jeff, something on fire there? Seriously? Well,
Think
this
so. There's
was
popcorn. You want popcorn?
no. What are you gonna do? Email it to me?
Yeah, sure. I'll pray about it.
You wouldn't download a car, would you?
I might.
Remember those anti-pirating ads?
Oh, that's what they said. You wouldn't download a car?
Yeah, it's like
Dude, I love those
You
commercials.
wouldn't illegally download a car now, would you? It's
Have
like,
you
what
seen?
the
I've
fuck?
seen the meme where it's like, it's like the FBI, like warning for before movies, and it's like you wouldn't download a car, and the guy's like, "Fuck you, I would if I could."
You
Yeah, no
want to bet, bitch? Downloads all of the blueprints to 3D print parts for a car. That's how the modern problems get solved.
It's a question for you, Jeff.
Okay, what?
Okay, so usually I go for 15.8% stouts, dark beers.
15.
Yeah, I like to get fucked up. When I drink, I like to get fucked up.
Was that a question?
No, it was for Jen, not you.
Oh, okay. I
The
thought you
question
said-
was, what do you class as a strong beer? Right. And I'm hearing an echo on your end, Jeff, by the way.
That's another reason I keep muting myself.
Gotcha. What happened to the headphones, man?
It's uncomfortable.
Oh,
Streamlabs needs a push to talk function.
Yes, I
Like,
completely agree. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, like on Discord, you know how you can just push to talk.
Someone is asking about my Twitch page
yes.
as we bring it up. Let me go ahead and show you.
Can you pop the link in there? I'm with you on that, Mark. I like the taste of beer. I like different kinds of beers. I like most of them, like almost all of them.
But here's the thing: the 15.8% beers are usually like made by really good beer companies because it's like it's like people who know beer. It's not just like shitty Bud Light. So
That has
I
a
like-
high ABV or something, right?
I like breakfast stouts. I like chocolate stouts.
That
I
still blows
like-
me away. Breakfast stouts.
You know what? If you're not having a beer with some flapjacks in the morning, you're doing it wrong. Just
Yeah,
saying.
I don't eat breakfast when I go to.
I don't eat breakfast either, but I would if I had a beer with it.
AM ale. Way to get loaded on your way to work.
One beer should count as breakfast, right?
I mean, it does contain calories.
Yeah, that's
Does.
true. I need to
Does.
go back on my diet. I've gotten fat as fuck. I say that, and I've only gained like 10 pounds.
Whoopsie daisy.
Here, let me put that link in the.
That was quite the huge
Actual
fucking
chat.
link.
Don't worry about that link. It was a stupid meme, and now it's ruined thanks to you.
Oh, I was just going to do the exact same thing.
Yeah, I already did it.
I see.
Haha, gotcha. I'm sorry. I've
Wig.
had a long day at work, and I'm not thinking straight.
It's so normal.
Yeah, but they've given me 3 days out of a week off to do voice acting, so that's a plus. I mean, they don't pay me enough to work a full week and not do other things, so yeah.
So, Neil, tell me about your call-in show and what how you're formatting that and what it's gonna look like.
You saw the background that I have here. Did you see that? That's sort of the for now the logo. We're going to design something better towards while we're running. We'll have a different logo come up with. But basically, we're going to be the first one in Canada that I know of, Atheist Call-In Show. But the thing is we don't just want to talk to theists. We want to talk to atheists too, and we want to talk to people that have just bizarre beliefs, kind of a little more along the truth wanted side of things, where you have a belief and you want to talk about your belief, and we can figure out why you believe it. We'll talk about it, that kind of thing. Basically, it's just like that. So, and we're going to have once a month. We're going to go weekly, and then once a month, we're going to have a guest host, someone like Paula Gia or Shanna Crew or
me,
or you or Oz or Matt Dillahunty or Seth Andrews or because all of them have sort of tentatively agreed that they'd pop in for one of these episodes, right? A lot of people.
If you
what are you doing as far as moderating phone calls and handling that?
We have we got my friend Mikey who's going to be doing that. Now we're going to do. I think we've got a 1-888 number we'll be using, and we'll also have a internet phone link like they're doing right now with the ACA shows. So it'll be a tiny URL type link where people can click on that and they'll be able to call into the show as well. And we're also Simply Secular, who lives in our area as well. Here, this is Dave, and he's apparently drinking a Trash Panda. Probably, if I remember correctly, Dave, you mentioned that you wanted to get involved a little bit, so he might be able to help us out too at some point.
Yeah, I think I'm still in the beginning stages of understanding how I have the audience and I have the callers. What I need is the method in which to take and make content that is of high quality. Being able to get the audio from the callers and my audio balanced during a live show, and most of the stuff I'm doing is somewhat by myself, so I have to be able to push the buttons to make it work.
It helps when you have somebody doing the production work for you.
Yeah, so now luckily Ben G lives near me, and so does Atheist Jesus, and so both of them are actually Atheist Jesus and I were recently at a Goodwill purchasing Bibles and got spotted by one of the people that work there. We're like, "Oh, you're those atheist dudes from TikTok." And
You're kidding.
He and I look at each other and we're like, do we run or do we agree with him? I don't know what to do.
Plausible deniability at that point.
Dude, I was wearing a hat. I had a mask on. I'm like, how did this guy know? And he's like, yeah, I'm a big fan of your show, man. I love it. I'm like, perfect. Like, whew.
Yeah. That's take the heat off, I guess, a little bit when he said that.
Oh, by the way, Neil, if you need channel art, hit me up with some design ideas, and I'll produce some channel art for you.
Yeah, well, I'm using Stream. I'm using OBS Streamlabs, and I've gotten pretty good with using Streamlabs to get the audio to work properly, to be able to get, because I'm doing it via a Google Voice number right now. So all of it comes through the browser. So I just made the browser an input channel, and I can see, the VU meter on that to make sure that it's not peaking higher than my voice, so that I can level it out during the call.
Sure.
And eventually I will have an audio XLR Mini Go to be able to, adjust the audio in front of me in the real time and hang up on people if I want to, like with a big button.
Do you need to go XLR? Can't go USB?
You can, but this product specifically allows me to have 4
like
input channels. Yeah, it's like a little mixer, and it gives me 4 input channels, and it does the encoding before it gets to the computer.
Gotcha.
So it's a really nice little product. One is Pasta, since Pasta is in his. I gotta assume Pasta does voice acting. He's never admitted to it, but I just assume he does. I would assume
I do.
He knows of the product and said that a lot of the people that he knows also use that product and swear by it. So I definitely think that's going to be next if I want to keep doing that.
So are you using like a virtual XLR mixer, or are you going to buy like a Go XLR?
I would prefer a hardware mixer eventually. But right now, as I'm not, I'm still experimenting with the format, how I want it to work. What do I really want to open myself up to taking random phone calls? But at the same time, it's like sometimes the random phone calls give people an opportunity to that don't normally get heard. And you can't troll a troll. Like, you can come on my show and say some stuff. I'm going to ask you some questions to have you prove that. Like, there's actually been a few times where people have called, and then I start asking them some questions. I don't hang up on them, and I just start, inquiring. and they hang up on me. Like they didn't expect it to go that long. They can't carry on the joke.
See, I'm gonna role play a theistic Satanist and come on your show.
I'm gonna share a screen here. Didn't take very long for this to happen. Thank you, tons of mice. You see that?
Yep, it's up there.
Yep. Wonder how that's going to go over. What's it? What orange is? What the hell is? We can't hear you, Jeff.
I have it set up to where when I get a new Twitch follower or something like that, it'll pop up on the screen.
Oh,
like Simply Secular had just followed, so it'll pop up like that and say, you know, so a lot of it I'm doing a lot on the back end to make it automated, so that I don't have to do stuff during the live show, and that's kind of the idea. But I want it to be kind of low key, not overproduced, and I want it to be kind of the average man's call-in show where the average person can get through. And a lot of times when these people call with these stupid arguments that would not normally be heard, it allows us to hear how ridiculous people's claims are. And you can start investigating, like, you know, do I sound like this with some of my stuff? Like that kind of stuff.
That's the main point of most of these call-in shows. It's not for the actual conversation that's taking place. It's for the listener, so they can get a run-through of all these conversations and all the claims that are being made. And a lot of the times they have zero anything to back up. That's just what they've been told, you know.
Well, a lot of times, you know, and I think my favorite joke in The Boys is like so poignant to this. A lot of times people who have faith, right, they say, if you're a believer, you don't need evidence, right? Or like shit like that.
I've heard it all.
Yeah. And so it's like, you know, to these people who have been indoctrinated their whole lives and never once felt the need to question it, you know, or had the knowledge of the materialistic world to question it. I'm sorry, I'm rambling and I'm losing my train of thought. Like they don't need evidence, right? And those are the people who, unfortunately, I feel like you can never convince to see a different viewpoint, because they've already shut themselves off to everything, because in their mind they don't need evidence. You know, they don't need, they just have to believe because that's what they were told to do.
Well, they've been programmed to not value evidence or skepticism. What evidence can you show somebody who doesn't value evidence? You know, that's the skew that they have on what evidence is actually completely wrong.
Yeah.
And it's a huge conversation, actually.
A lot of it has to do with, and I'm not trying to make a statement that you have to have a low intelligence to believe in religion, but the less educated someone is, the harder they're more likely they are to believe in a faith to a level which they don't need to understand anything else. And that's not to say that religion is stupid or people who follow religion are stupid. That's merely to say that there is an obvious trend where typically people who didn't have that strong of an education tend to buy into wholesale religions.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I mean, if you know absolutely nothing about biology or genetics, I mean, zero, you're not going to understand evolution. Somebody's just going to say, why are there still monkeys around? And you're like, that makes sense. Why are there still monkeys around? But you don't if you understand a little bit more, if you educate yourself on how genetics work and how the evolutionary process actually happens, then you're less likely to be convinced of a falsehood. Just because you understand the reality of the situation, you're not going to be so susceptible to all the woo. So it has nothing to do with your intelligence and your intellect, really. It doesn't make you a stupid person for believing that things. But if you are educated in a certain field, you're less likely to get thrown some bullshit.
And there are like educated people who hold a tenable belief to a deistic God, and there are uneducated people who are atheists. And like there's like a spectrum, but like those are typically the outliers that I've noticed. Like I don't really want to insult my own father, but he didn't grow up with a good education, but he is devoutly religious. He believes that George Washington was a man whore. That's the level of intelligence he has when it comes to like recalling facts, right? And I wish that was a joke. Yeah, it's almost funny if it wasn't so sad. And like his entire family, right? My dad's side of my family, right? They're all devoutly religious, and they all grew up in a small town with poor education. And like, I don't think religion has made them less intelligent. I believe that the reason why they've never questioned their intelligence, or that they believe every single word of the Bible to be 100% true, is purely because of the fact that they've never been taught the mechanics of the materialistic world. I don't know. I'm rambling. I'm sorry.
And no, and anybody that has tried to teach them the mechanics of the naturalistic world, it's rejected right off the bat because it's not in line with the Word of God. And
Before I
it's
ever
just
did
fingers
debates
right in the ears.
Yeah. Before I ever did debates online with theists, I did debates with my family. And that's how I kind of built up my own skepticism, was, finding out the answers to all the questions they posed, right? I don't know if you guys have had a similar experience with that. Speaking of
Apparently
genetic
not.
biology, I wanted to go back to what you guys were talking about in the deconversion story, the flawed designs of God, because I remember.
Oh. God didn't design anything. So what are you talking about?
I'm air quotes. Imagine air quotes whenever I say design, because I know.
Go on a trip with us, Neil.
All right, hang on.
A trip. We're going on a
role
trip
play with me. Role
to an
play with me.
imaginary place where our bodies were designed.
My design cap. Hang on. Just
imagine a world where we have been designed. Okay.
In a world
where God was real. But no, like, so there are so many different examples of, not just in humans, but in the entire animal kingdom, of flawed designs. That is a pretty cool hat. But like sloths can die from exhaustion if they eat too much. That's a flaw in design. Can get drunk and then get punished for it. That's a pretty big flaw in design.
What about those little worms that go into your eyeballs and eat your eyeballs?
I think I know what you're talking about.
What about the worms in the Amazon rainforest that go into your urethra?
Penis. Yeah.
Oh, those are actually fish, and there's only been a handful of reported cases of that happening.
Do you want to be one of those reported cases?
I do not, because I'm never going to swim in the Amazon rainforest. Like that's just a dumb idea.
How does the sloth overeat? Like, don't they like shit the first bite out before they get done chewing the second bite?
They only take a crap once every week. Right,
and
they
real
have to,
slow.
Oh, and here's a fun fact: they have to climb down from a tree.
Bathroom hog.
They have to climb down from their trees to take a shit, which takes them forever to climb down. But then they cannot move when they're on the ground, and then they have to climb all the way back up. That is when they're most vulnerable, because they're on the ground and they can't run away from anything. But if they eat too much, the energy that it takes to digest the leaves is greater than the immediate benefit of eating those leaves. So they die from exhaustion because they run out of energy trying to process the food that will give them energy. It's like baffling how science works. And then koalas are my favorite example of poorly designed creatures, because they have been on an evolutionary arms race with the eucalyptus for millions of years, and it has resulted in them only being able to eat a poisonous thing that doesn't give them very much nutritional value, but that they will not know what to do with it if it is then cut from that tree and then presented to them on a plate. That is how stupid the poisons from eucalyptus have progressively made the koalas. But then going on to humans, one of our legs is longer than the other, right? I think that's stupid.
Gross.
What's going on?
But I think the biggest design flaw.
Honestly, it's obviously because Eve ate the apple.
Yeah,
That's why the leg's longer.
That's right.
God damn, my leg grew an extra 5 centimeters because I ate my damn apple of
Have
knowledge.
you considered it's because they took God out of school?
Yeah. I want to address something in the chat, actually. There's something there for you, too, by the way, Jen. Irish Swede has said, frogs eat themselves to death quite regularly. A couple of species of horned frogs do that, and they don't necessarily eat themselves to death, but they eat anything, including things that are too big to eat. So they will literally choke on what they're eating and kill themselves.
That happened to a python once. It ate an alligator, and the alligator was still alive, and it burst out of it, killing both of them.
Yeah.
Animals are dumb.
Well, yeah. See a quick, easy meal. What the fuck? Oz, what are you doing, man? I thought you couldn't be in here.
Well, I wanted to at least jump in for a moment or two and talk shit to Jeff. So.
Oh, okay.
Shit away.
I was just making sure my certificate of congressional recognition was visible.
Good.
Kind of like my
glad.
website thing over here, way in the background.
Jeff, I'm glad I motivated you to do something productive with your life. Thank you.
Wait, what?
No. I already did the productive thing. This is recognition of the see. Special certificate of special congressional recognition presented to me.
We all know, and you just said it the other day, that when you saw mine up there, that you went and printed yours on the printer. So it's
No, this has a seal. This has the United States seal. Can't print that.
Oof.
you got that sticker at the fire station.
Things are getting.
Hey, I've got a whole bunch of those types of things on the wall in my lab at work.
No, you don't.
Yeah,
you don't
I
have
do.
this one. This
Yeah,
one,
the
you have this
congressional
one.
one.
Neil.
I have my certification for the chemistry stuff. I've got my certification for level 2 first aid. I've got my award that I won for putting my name aboard the spaceship that was shot into the sun.
I got one
What
of
is
those.
it? What is it that
Yeah.
Aaron Ross says? If you can't show it, you don't know it.
That's
That's
right.
right.
You can't show
Yeah.
it, and here
I'll
it is.
fucking show it.
Certificate of congressional recognition.
Yeah, but Neil
Get that
can't
one,
show
Oz.
it. If Neil, because Neil can't show it, he doesn't. We don't know it. Is all I'm saying.
Level 2 first aid. Give me a break.
I do
I got
have
level 3. Is that
Yeah.
a thing? I got
I have level. I have level
level
7.
3 is a thing. And after level 3, you're basically a paramedic.
And then level 9 is doctor.
This sounds like some MMORPG video game. Like you're leveling up stats.
I'm leveling up. Level 3 is really, really hard.
Yeah, but you got chemicals, so you can do it.
If I
Level
take the right ones, yes.
What level is brain surgery?
That's what's that one that's a sideways 8?
That's a boss. It's a boss level.
Oh, it's a boss
it is a
raid.
boss
I have to go into the dungeon with my clan members.
Helicopter dicks are real. I can show it too. No, Doorknob Head, that's okay.
Doorknob Head wishes that he could show that.
What the hell is
Doorknob Head.
this? Who blesses the USA?
Well, obviously it's Yahweh because reasons and whatnot.
How do you know it's not L?
Because of reasons. I just said it. Damn it, Neil. Do you
Reasons
ever pay
isn't good
attention?
I do.
Because
I used to. I can't afford to anymore. I can't even afford to spend the night.
If God blessed the USA, like, is that why we're in so much emotional turmoil and like devastation?
Whoa. Accurate, but whoa. That's all I'm gonna say.
Like
So,
the
Neil,
entire world is burning. Maybe that's why God's blessing everyone, because whenever God does anything nice, it's usually bad in the Bible.
Well, look.
Why'd you pin that comment up, Neil?
What?
Why'd you pin that comment up from Mark?
I pinned the comment. Oh,
No, you need to put it up.
that one.
Yes.
Isn't the level 2 certification that you have best for saving yourself?
No.
Oh, well, I would
No,
use it. Just like,
I would.
is it like oh no, I got acid in my eyes, I need to go to the wash station?
I'm just imagining that scene in Chronicles of Riddick when he takes like the molten chunk of rock and like jams it into his bleeding flesh wound. Level 2.
Level 2 established.
First
If
grade.
you go to the first aid box, does it say level 2 or higher only?
No.
Does it have like the 2 keys?
We have
like on
level 1 first aid attendants that at work and level 2 first aid attendants. Now, the level 2 first aid attendants, which is myself and one other person on our shift, are the ones that the level 1s have to report to if something does go down.
So
And then someone does a report.
I do it.
so pretty much you're just the company's bitch.
You
is
have
what
to
you're saying.
fix chemicals with chemicals.
I'm the company's bitch. Well, yeah, I'm the company's bitch that actually, gets to put a broken, fractured limb back together, and await the paramedics, or stop a puncture hole in somebody's neck.
That sounds like bitch work.
Blood.
That sounds like bitch work.
Well, hey, if bitch work is saving lives, I'll do it every time.
So, did you ever see that video of the NHL hockey player that got his jugular nicked
By a
during
skate?
a game?
Yes.
And the guy that was the medical whatever guy on the team was a former Army veteran in Vietnam, and he was a paramedic in Vietnam, and he knew what happened. He dealt with it before, and so he ran onto the ice and put his fingers in there and held it together until they could get him to the hospital and save
That's
that
the only
man's
way to
life
do it.
because of it. Yeah. So is that what you do?
I've never had to do that, but if I had to, I could do it. Yes. No, nobody's going to have their neck sliced open where I work unless they.
How do you know that? How do you know that?
Somebody
How can you make
that,
such an absolute statement?
First of all, we don't really have anything. I mean, we have the one saw that's completely covered. So unless somebody lifted it up and threw someone onto the table, it's not going to happen.
What if there was a riot? What if there was a riot and
where I work?
A protester let off a stray round
where I
and
work
it happened to nick someone's neck?
No, it's not going to happen.
The immense odds of that.
Neil, you have to sit there and prepare for the unpreparable.
Yeah, that's how you get the level.
If it's
3.
unpreparable, why
these
would
are
I
level 3 questions, and that's why you can't answer them.
No, if it's unpreparable, why would I
level 1
prepare
first aid people are the people who follow Neil around with glasses of tepid water.
Oh, damn it! I accidentally popped his eye out.
Neil, one of the things though that I get a kick out of, so I work in the appliance industry. And one of the phrases that gets on my nerves that people use quite frequently is that they claim that their product cleans without chemicals.
What? Really?
So yeah, and so they'll say something like this: "Clean." All you do is this is the phrase they use. All you have to do is add water; it cleans without chemicals.
Interesting.
Just add dihydrogen monoxide, right?
So I'll be the guy in the back that's like, "Didn't you just say you have to put water in it? Isn't that a chemical?"
No, because of reasons. And shut up, Jeff.
Yeah, that's about the response I get.
See, they're focused on the people who are like 3-head IQ. You're 5-heading it.
I do have a shirt that says everything's a chemical, and I get dirty looks if I wear it in Whole Foods.
Nah.
Not to be pedantic, but not everything's a chemical. Particles are not chemicals because they are smaller than electrons.
Okay. Oh boy. Okay. They are part of chemical makeup.
Yeah, but
that's
they're
why
not
they're called particles.
That's right. Yeah, very good. It takes particles to make chemical makeup.
Yes, I realize
But
that,
then
but
is
they're
a
not
particle a
chemicals.
chemical?
Elements also make up chemicals.
Hydrogen's not water, but it's part
of water, right? 2 of them, actually.
But isn't water is a chemical compound, right?
Correct. Yes.
And so hydrogen would be the chemical.
No, hydrogen is one of the elements. Oxygen is the other element. To combine them, you've got a chemical compound.
So what if I had a block of pure hydrogen?
You won't
Is that
have
a
a block
chemical?
of pure hydrogen.
Yeah, well, I made one
From what?
from hydrogen.
Hydrogen.
Wait, is it just like pure hydrogen
Hey.
plasma? Are you melting through the like core of the Earth? What the
You
fuck?
can't. It's invisible. You can't.
Oh,
see
here
it,
we
but
go.
I
It's the
have
Carl
it.
Sagan
You just have
thing.
to have faith.
You can't prove it.
Good evening, everybody, and
Can
welcome
you prove
to the
I
troll
don't
world.
have a solid brick of
Exactly.
hydrogen?
You can't prove he doesn't have a solid brick of hydrogen. So
Fun fact, you can actually see the plasma form of hydrogen, and it's purple, and it looks like a death ray.
But is that a chemical?
Yes.
how do you know? Were you there?
Hydrogen on its own is an element, which is part of a chemical.
There's a science museum by me that has one of those like periodic table of the elements that's like made up of a lot of, obviously not all of them, but a lot of the non-radioactive and non.
Yeah, you don't want some of those in there.
Yeah, they do have some of them.
Really low dose ones.
Yeah, low doses, but it's also they got a phosphorescent room where you can go in and they have all like things that phosphoresce and rocks and stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
So, Jeff, you've taken any calls yet tonight?
I'm taking calls tonight in about an hour.
Sweet.
Oh, excellent.
So we'll see how that goes.
Hopefully
it doesn't go like the other night that I was testing my stream and I had someone call in and they said some things and then banned my video because of what they said. So that was awesome.
Oh yeah, that happens a lot everywhere.
Have you gotten Darth on your stream yet?
I'll show it.
Sweet.
What did you say, Undead?
Oh, okay. I was gonna let Oz go first. Did you get Darth on your stream yet?
Mine or
No. He did join my Discord for a short period of time, but
I
didn't give him enough attention. So
I trolled Darth so hard one day that he like banned me from his Discord. It was a great day.
I love watching people outsmart Darth because it's just so.
But that's
hilarious.
not hard.
It's not, but it's
like
hilarious.
watching an NBA team beat up on like a third grade basketball team.
The thing is, it's like normally you really don't care to watch that type of thing, but every so often, when you've had a bad day, you would tune in to the NBA beating up on a third grade basketball team just for the laughs.
Yeah.
It's why we have the Globetrotters. I mean, come on. We watch the Globetrotters because it's fucking hilarious to watch them sit there and do their tricks on the other teams. It's hilarious.
Yeah, but those don't actually work in a real game.
No.
Well, we don't know that because they're not allowed to play because they're too good.
No, we do. We do know it.
We don't know.
Jeff.
This isn't your show. You have no control over it.
You have no power here.
Mute Jeff. Mute Jeff.
Why he's doing it all by himself.
With Darth, my favorite one still so far is Atheist Pastor, and his video with him. Oh my God, it was hilarious. Darth did not know what to do, what direction to go, how to take his script. Oh, it was a fucking riot.
Oh,
the dude talks in circles though. Like it's so maddening. It's like a peek into pure insanity.
Did you ever watch? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Oz.
I'll just say, if you haven't seen that with Chris Atlee, Atheist Pastor, when he has Darth, I think on his, I believe it was on his channel, on Atheist Pastor's channel, he embarrassed him. He embarrassed him. It was hilarious.
I might check it out if I have a mental fortitude or if I'm drunk enough.
Have you ever seen?
Good Lord, Cafe, why? Why would you do that? Why would you steal, man, Darth Dawkins?
No, don't ever steal.
That's a harder challenge than debunking him.
That's fair.
Not if you have a heroic dose though.
But did you ever watch the one on modern day debate between him and Red Venture, Oz?
Oh
my God!
I feel like I've listened to parts or segments, but not the whole thing.
It was pretty interesting because there's one part of this entire debate where he asked Red about something, and Red breaks down all these different aspects of philosophy, including, I think, the law of non-contradiction, and said that, but this is how we go, around this because of this. Darth asked the same question again. So Red sat there and said, you know what? I'm going to follow the script for a second just to see what happens. And so he said he sits there and followed the script for a second. And then here comes fucking Darth. Well, you see, that's why we have things like laws of non-contradiction. Have you ever heard of them? And he's like, I just fucking broke it down for you, Darth. And I told you how we can get around this. Like, seriously? Like, you're going to ask me, have I heard of them whenever I was the one who just brought him up? Like, really?
Yeah, it's amazing because some of the pre-suppers that have the kahunas enough to actually show their face on screen, you can literally watch them read the script off their screen as they're talking. Oh. And I just chuckle. I'm like, it's like, this is not an argument. You're just reading. Like, you're not actually using your brain right now. You're just reading off a script.
Yep. And he does that. But you know what? I think he's got it down pretty good. So he's got a lot of it memorized.
Oh, yeah.
Darth, absolutely. But there's a few others that are, I don't know if you want to say new, but in the last few years their names have become more prominent or popular in that community. And when I see them, the ones that, like I said, that will show their faces, you can literally watch them reading as they're talking off of their computer screen.
It'll go like this. They'll look directly into the camera and then be like, okay, well, that is a, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, are you reading this off? Because you definitely look like you're reading. No. I know this all by heart. Well, as I continue.
I mean, even if they are reading straight off a script, yeah, go ahead, take some notes, come up with your little aha moments, and try to spit us out some questions that we can't answer, and then go, aha, you can't answer that, so I'm right. And that's pretty much all it fucking is.
Yep.
No, IQ just hit the nail on the head. They want to find out one little question that nobody's really going to know the answer to. We can assume, and then as soon as you can't answer it, it's, oh, you're an idiot. You have no idea what you're talking about, and they all celebrate and they think they want a war.
Well, if you're Darth, what the thing is if you don't follow the script, all of a sudden you're dishonest.
Yeah. Yep.
Is that a kitty in the background?
That is my dog in the background.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Now I see better.
Yeah.
The mother Darth teaches its Darthlings to read scripts. This will improve their survival chance.
Oh my God!
Only for a short time.
That is beautiful. I love that. Oh, if I ever sit there and do a little joke thing about Darth Dawkins, I'm definitely getting you the voice of the nature.
The David Attenborough of your Darth Dawkins documentary.
Yes.
My personal funny story with Darth is when we first started our channel. Within the first few episodes, he wanted to come on, so we had him come on. Now, mind you, I'm familiar with all the prominent atheist speakers and characters, and listening to those and learning from those all the time. But as far as the kind of the dark side of YouTube, the Darth and all that, I hadn't been exposed to any of that yet. As far as just how ugly and nasty some of it can get. So he comes on, and I'm like, oh, okay, this Christian precept guy wants to come on. We'll talk to him. I have no idea. Like, a couple of the other guys are like freaked out, like, oh, Dart's coming on, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I have no idea what you're talking about right now. And he comes on, and I remember by the end of it, he basically rage quitted on us and left.
Sure.
And I remember when we ended the stream and everything, my honest takeaway was, as somebody that's just freshly out of Christianity and faith and all that guy's a Christian?
Yeah.
Like that guy's a Christian? that was my honest takeaway. Like, he actually calls him, like, do people actually accept him in the Christian community? Because that was crazy.
I feel like Darth has his own religion almost. I want to call it Darthism, because his worldview and his outlook on how the natural world works or how the supernatural world works is so far removed from anyone else's viewpoint that it's almost alien. It's like an extraterrestrial came down to Earth, discovered the Bible, and then tried to reinterpret it. You know?
Well,
I think the closest that I've found to him, as far as just like the very, very skewed, what would be your, I guess, traditional or typical interpretation of, the Bible, biblical morality, and how Christians should conduct themselves and display their actions and their words. About the only one that I could find so far, and you guys may know better than me because I don't really spend a lot of time on the dark side, like I said, of all that, is Mr. Batman. Mr. Batman is every time I've heard him speak is a dumpster fire.
I don't even know who Mr. Batman was.
Really?
Yeah. No idea.
He extremely disrespectful, extremely condescending. Even I would say
he's an asshole.
Yeah, I was about to say when it comes to being an ass,
that's the word.
I would say he's a bigger ass than even Darth when it comes to just being disrespectful.
Well, the thing is with Darth is like, Undead, I have to disagree with you on, him having his own religion type of thing or his own version of Christianity or whatever. What it is whenever it comes to his presupposition, what he does is the reason why it seems weird is because what he does is he listens to other presuppers and he gets bits and pieces from individual presuppers and their different arguments. And then he creates his own arguments from them. And so they are basically close enough to.
Is it just me or did Frustrated Atheist cut out?
Not.
He got frustrated and froze.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
There it is.
I'm so sorry about that, guys. So what I was saying was that his are close enough to others' arguments that you can tell that there's some kind of lineage there, but it's unique enough to his own style that it seems like it's something new, but it's just revamped garbage.
It might be that I just choose my targets differently and I don't choose targets that are similar to him, that I have no idea that there are people out there like that. But like from my perspective, he's like a one-of-a-kind wacko.
Oh, yeah, no, if you actually look at some of his arguments that he's gotten, he's twisted like Matt Slick's arguments. He's twisted several other of the older presuppers' arguments to make his own type of thing, and he just changes them little by little over time. So it just like a lot of his shit is like reused other presuppers' shit, but then twisted enough to make his own unique twist on it.
New adaptive learning has made the perfect AI human presupper.
Exactly.
And the one thing I've started doing with presuppers when I do have the pleasure of speaking with them, like we had 2 or 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago now, Otangelo came on our channel, and if you take religion out of the religion and religious arguments out of the conversation, I think Otangelo would be a good dude. I just think it's that's what religion does to people, and
say that about any of them then.
Well, absolutely, that's what I'm saying, and I agree. I think you take that away. I think in my conversations with Otangelo on screen, and then we've exchanged a few emails, that I think if you took that away and he wasn't drunk on the Jesus juice, that he'd be a really cool guy. I do believe that.
Well, that's the thing is if you can say that about a lot of people, it's just to me it's
all over the place.
I was given that was more of my beginning statement, because I don't like to trash people, so to speak. So I kind of gave that as my prerequisite there. But even when he came on to our channel, and we've had just a few other presuppers come on. The one thing that I've learned, and it with the last two, Otangelo, I can't remember the other one, that I just what I refuse to do now in those arguments, those conversations, is to concede a God. I think that's the biggest thing. You just don't concede it. And they're like, well, no. And they try to flip it back onto you. Well, if you don't have that, then what about this? Well, no, you're the one with the claim. you're coming with a claim. I'm not going to concede any of it until you demonstrate it. And as long as I stand that ground, at the end of it, even Otangelo was like frustrated. He was like, I'm done talking to Oz. Like he won't he won't follow the script. He will not follow the script. So he wanted to move on. So that's where I'm at, because it makes that conversation really short.
Okay. I have something to say about all this. People that start with a presupposition that something exists, if they cannot demonstrate that exists, then it stops right there. Okay, you can't. All right, you can say, well, you can't have morals, or you can't have
laws,
rationality, consciousness without a God. Well, we clearly have that, right? It doesn't require a deity, and you can't say that it requires one until you demonstrate that one actually exists. Once you've done that, then we can go on to having a conversation about its properties, whatever it is.
The thing is, I think it depends on the claims being said, because, like, for instance, some axioms we take, we don't know for
yes, you fucking do, Otangelo. You have to. If you can't, not my problem.
Yeah, you do have to demonstrate that a god
exists. I can say everything you say and attribute it to a shiny fucking purple dragon if I wanted to.
So,
demonstrate that the natural world is all there is.
So, like I was saying, is that it depends on the claim, because, like, there are certain axioms that we take to be that we can't prove 100% without a doubt exists, but we still go on them. Like, for instance, we go off the axiom that what we experience is reality. We go off the axiom that we ourselves exist, and we don't have any proof that we exist, but we go off these axioms because it doesn't help to have a fruitful conversation if we don't. So it always depends on the claim itself. When it comes to a God created things, that is not an axiom we can take, because it requires too many different things before that to happen. So it always depends on the claim itself, in my opinion.
And you're
all that actually exists is all that exists. I can demonstrate that the natural world exists. Otangelo,
we know nothing beyond the natural world, so yes, Otangelo,
I can demonstrate that the natural world exists. Look at the trees, man.
An argument against them.
Now talk to the tree and have it talk back.
I mean,
we haven't demonstrated that yet, so I'm not going to claim that a tree can talk to you. Until you can demonstrate that the tree will talk back, we're going to assume that the tree can't fucking talk.
If you're alive in 2020 and you think the Earth is flat, you need to move to another planet. Preferably a flat one.
The wording of Otangelo,
and if I could say real quick in regards to Otangelo, that was perfect timing that he that he jumped in there. But I did hold that, and if he's honest, he'll say that right now. And we have footage to back it up if not. But that was my main thing, and I held that ground. No, we do not move down the script. We do not move down the line of questioning until we can demonstrate that this God or higher power, whatever, actually does exist. And when
once that's demonstrated, we can move forward.
Yeah. And if that's demonstrated, we can show that. Then let's go through all the questions. We can go through all the questions.
Yeah. But
is the natural world all that exists? I don't know.
Hold on. That's another one I love. Gravity is just a theory. Okay, Robert, I'm going to explain. Just shush. I'm going to explain something to you, because technically I'm a scientist. I'm a chemist. I'm going to explain something to you. A theory.
We are all scientists.
Well, sure. Whatever. A theory in science is the highest echelon anything can be. It includes hypotheses and laws. So a theory is not the colloquialism that everyone's, hey, I got a theory about something. That's not actually a theory. That's an idea. It's not even a hypothesis when somebody says that. So theory is the highest thing anything can be in science. So if you're going to say gravity is just a theory, I'm going to go, you're right. It is. It's one of the theories that we have. And it has been demonstrated repeatedly. Here, we'll do it again.
Neil, can I ask you a question?
Gravity. Yeah.
I think
Neil, I have a question for you.
Wait, I've already had enough today.
This is medication. Does this work based off of a theory?
Possibly.
Was it, a theory that maybe this chemical would work?
It probably started
and then
as a
it was
hypothesis.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've got
Correct.
you've got germ theory. You've got I can't remember what it's actually called.
But
Germ theory
we
of
should
disease?
say, would we say that the computers that we're using today are the result of
Scientific
theories?
theory, yes, of course.
And that's demonstrable.
Hypotheses, right? They slip into a theory of some kind.
And then those are demonstrable.
They're all just demonstrable, yes.
So
I think
what
we
if
need
we
to
just started? You know what
clarify.
I like to say to those people is I just refer to their God claim as a God theory.
It's not a theory, though.
I know it's not, but it upsets them because they've already diminished the value of the word theory.
Yeah, okay, they do that all the time, though. They diminish lots with
Yeah,
that kind of
Yeah,
Neil,
but
what
listen,
do you-
this is ethical trolling.
Neil, what he's saying is that because since they've diminished the term of theory, that saying that, well, God is just a theory, in that case, flips that and turns it on them.
It insults them. And then I say, well, let's prove the theory of gravity.
Yep.
Just did it. Now could you prove your God claim? Your
One
God
of
theory.
the flat Earth claims I love is, this is gravity. It's all density. I go, you realize that density requires gravity to be density, right?
No, because of, it's uppity and downity.
The
My guy.
reason why people think theory is weaker than it actually is.
I actually speak Hebrew, Robert, because I lived in Israel. NASA does not mean deceive in Hebrew. You fucking idiot.
I feel like Robert's a troll.
I think so. Well, yeah,
He doesn't have a profile
this
picture.
is the stupidest fucking thing ever.
I think that the whole flat Earth thing, I would say 99% of the people that are flat Earthers are just in it for trolling. They're not in it for the actual argument.
I can actually explain how water seeping level still coincides with a curved Earth or a globe, or the truth, because of the very nature of gravity. Mass in a vacuum will always seek other mass.
Yep.
If a bunch of points of mass collide in on each other, that makes
Unless
up.
you're talking about the Higgs field earlier. That's exactly what it was.
Listen. This is level 3. They're still at level 1.
Oh shit! I forgot. I'm sorry. I leveled up in my sarcasm.
First, they have to understand.
Oh, and a YECer too. Holy shit!
Young Earth create. Yeah, no.
Well, I'm sorry, Robert, but all the evidence. I'm sorry. We have enough evidence to fill up another planet Earth that is against.
But Neil, carbon dating isn't accurate.
Because they sit there and they date the rocks to date the
even though we use radioactive dating, let's just talk about carbon dating.
Hold on, which version of carbon dating are you referring to?
I didn't know there were different versions, Neil. I just Ken Ham told me that it's not accurate.
Neil, it's
radioisometric dating.
It's all the same.
That's Answers in Genesis did not say anything about different types of carbon dating.
Carbon dating predicates on the idea that there's the same amount of carbon in the atmosphere at all points in time in the history of the Earth, which isn't true.
No, but it very, very lightly fluctuates. They also have now what they call photonic dating, where they can now measure the decay rate of light photons that are inside things.
But Neil, the thing is
that's the most accurate form of dating we have today.
Neil, it's all wrong because the Bible.
What's that photon lab they have where they can measure? It's like really deep. It's buried very deep in a rock, and it's got water as the bottom, and it looks like a dome. And they're measuring photons like as they pass through the Earth. Have you seen pictures of this place? It's insane.
You mean CERN?
No. It's completely different. It's an underground facility. It's a dome with an artificial lake that they built.
Oh, Neil, please let me
I'll find
take
it. Hold on.
the Ica Stones argument. Please let me take the Ica Stones argument because I
people
know
had imagination
all about this.
then too, just like we do.
No, the Ica Stones are a hoax. The Ica Stones are a complete fraud. The creators of the creator of the Ica Stones even got arrested because he finally had to admit that yes, they were fucking fake. You young Earth creationist motherfucking pieces of shit can't do research for dick all.
And they've been recreated by other people nowadays,
Sure,
so
Mark.
that way they can sell it as tourist shit.
Evolution is true, Robert. I'm sorry, but it's there's it's not even worth having this. Like, I'm wasting my time because they're clearly not ever going to actually look into the
facility,
relevance of it.
It takes like 15 minutes of research to find
More than
videos
that.
here on YouTube.
YouTube is not real.
YouTube isn't real. That's right.
No, it's not research.
Oh, well, no. Like there are people who actually know their shit on YouTube who talk about the Ica stones and the Acambro figures, and like how that they are all just hoaxes, and they go into citing sources. They have articles listed in the descriptions. It takes you one Google search to find that what you are trying to present as evidence that evolution is bullshit is in itself bullshit.
Joke's on you. They can't read.
You're willing
Google
to change your mind if there's evidence? I call bullshit to that right now, because I can give you literally, I could fill up a suitcase with evidence and give it to you, and I will guarantee you won't look at any of it.
Neil Otangelo just
You
said.
won't understand it.
Otangelo just said he will debate you on, what was it? Evolution every day of the week.
No, he said any time, but that's close enough. See, I'm not an evolutionary biologist. I'm just a chemist, right? I know a little bit of biochemistry, but you might want to take that up with somebody who's actually an evolutionary biologist. And I know some and can point you in a direction, but you might not want to do that because Otangelo, it's really embarrassing getting owned by people that know what they're talking about.
Neil, the main question, so when on the T.A.R.T show, when we had Loya Lolo's boy, is that his name? Oz? I don't know what his name. Anyway, he denies evolution, and so I asked.
Anyone who denies evolution is clearly blind as fuck.
Well, so I asked simple questions, and the question I asked him was, because he said evolution is false, and I said, what do the people doing the research, the people that are studying and coming up with this information, what do they say about evolution? What is their explanation of how this evolutionary system that you deny works? He didn't know. And I said, well, what's your main source of information when it comes to evolution? No. Like, have you ever read any peer-reviewed document, peer-reviewed scientific publication about evolution? No.
He doesn't know what blind faith is, because I'm not making assumptions based on blind faith. Yeah, I do know some things. I'm just not as well versed as an actual evolutionary biologist.
Yeah, but if you were to go to that source, the point is that he's not seeking that source. He's seeking a source that conforms to evolution is false. And listening to a church preacher or whoever, he's never actually seeking. It would be like me saying that Jesus isn't real and never actually asking a pastor or someone who believes in Jesus why they believe in Jesus.
Right. And what Jeff is saying, what Jeff is saying right now, and
clearly knows nothing about what's behind all that, by the way. If he uses that as anti,
yeah, he's talking about T-Rex.
Yeah,
go ahead, Oz.
Obviously, there's a bunch of atheists on screen right now. We're gonna have bias right now when I say this, but like right now, I'm reading slowly, but reading two books because I'm slow. Dr. Josh's book on biblical slavery, and then I can't remember the Christian author's name, but I'm going chapter by chapter through these two books. One is written by an atheist, one is written by a Christian, and I'm going by chapter, just like I did with the four Gospels when I first started my deconversion process, and going through and cross-examining and comparing. And unfortunately, there's a lot of theists that don't. They don't and won't do that. They won't cross-examine and they won't do those things. And I wish they would, because you're going to find a lot more true things than not when you see it from both sides. When you try to know truth,
I will make one correction.
A little bubble. They don't want to know it.
Can I make a book, Oz? If I wrote a book and it's just going to be called "Biblical Explanation of Biblical Slavery," be 600 pages, and the first page is going to say "Slavery is never good," and then the rest will be blank.
I agree.
The fact that they write, and I want to read the book, by the way. I want to read that book because we were talking about it on the show the other night. I want to read his book, but the fact that they have to write an entire book explaining it. It's ludicrous. But Neil, I need to disappear because I'm going to go do some phone calls here in about 10 minutes. So I need to get myself set.
You got your show to get going.
You cannot leave.
I'm going to go watch some football.
All the viewers watching this channel need to dip out and leave and come over to Twitch.
No.
no.
You are not allowed
they
to leave yet.
totally can because I'm going to go watch some football.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah.
And I got to get back to work too. So
But
You got to get some more certificates.
Work.
Checking off some more some online learnings.
no, I'm stacking up certificates. All day.
Attached
Are you
to a blind
certified to
faith
print
is not
those?
what we operate on. Sorry.
But
We follow where evidence takes us. If I bring you evidence, you're not going to follow. You're like a horse with blinders on. You're going to go somewhere else.
It's very true.
Yeah.
Follow the evidence.
You
Question
follow the
everything.
evidence wherever it leads, even if it leads
Everything's
to
a chemical.
an uncomfortable. Everything is an uncomfortable thing. It makes you feel weird. It's still, if that's where the evidence goes, you go there.
Could you apply that to a sexual situation?
You could as well, yes.
Giggity.
I do all the time. IQ, giggity. All right. So, all right. So, yeah, we might as well just wrap this up anyway because I got to head.
Love you guys. Thank you.
Football,
Hey, Oz, I got a question for you.
Crapped a couple more beers.
Oh boy, what, Jeff? What, Jeff? So he doesn't have a question.
But I will make one correction. Dr. Josh does not classify himself as an atheist. He classifies himself as agnostic.
What's the difference?
Sorry, publicly, yes, you're correct. Publicly, it is. You're right.
Yeah.
Yes, Angelo, I always follow where the evidence leads. You don't. You claim to, but you don't, man. You can't.
Why isn't he on the show? He can call in if he wants to talk. I'll talk with him.
Robert, if you want to, if
Jeff,
anyone wants to know about evolution, I suggest a book that's written by my friend Jackson Wheat.
Yes.
And Robert
R.J. Downer.
R.J. Downer, thank you.
Yeah.
They both recently wrote a book called The Rocks Were There.
Yeah.
That's a good starting point because they cover a lot of really interesting things.
And that I will say that is only part one.
Yeah, it's only the first book.
It's everyone, amazing. Thank you. I gotta go. Thank you. Love you guys.
All right, we're leaving.
See you guys. Real science is actually amazing.
Yeah.
It's much more awe-inspiring than the silly fucking Bible, which we can demonstrate is full of bullshit. We can demonstrate that.
Like the thing is what the Bible is it's a great book.
Fucking mythology.
Well, yeah, but
just like the ones out that are out.
Let me finish, Neil. I'm saying this is a great book that is used.
No, it's not.
You're not letting me fucking finish, Neil. Damn. It's a great book for self-preservation. Like this book has several different passages in it that helps preserve the faith. And so you're going to be able to sit there and use this book in any way, shape, or form. Like as many verses as we can sit there and show that, hey, this is a horrible book to, go by. You're going to find believers who are going to find the exact same amount of passages that's like, but look at all these good things about it. And it fucking sucks, to be honest.
In that regard, the Bible is a lot like an abusive relationship because a lot of it is downright diabolical. Like there are some things that, and I'm not talking about like the sins, I'm talking about what God does is straight up diabolical. Like if a human were to do the things that God does, they would be seen as public enemy number one. But he loves you. Jesus loves you. He sacrificed for you.
It's very much, I'm going to fucking kill all you. But I love you guys. Please don't leave me. But let me know that I will fucking kill you. But I love you. I'm going to do this out of love, my guy. That's the Bible in a nutshell.
Look at this.
What?
Yeah. Then why didn't they call it a dinosaur?
Also,
Because God already. Okay, God's all knowing, right?
Mhm.
He knew that all of the people in this chat right now were going to be atheists. Why didn't he do something about that? Let me tell you something. If your God was real, everyone would know. There'd be one religion, not a fucking shit 1,000 tons of them. There'd be one religion. We'd be following one deity. There wouldn't be a whole bunch more. The problem is your God is not fucking real. He can't be, because he allows priests by the thousands to rape fucking children and sits by doing nothing.
Tracy.
Your
You know
God
what I'm talking about,
collapses churches on his
Dude,
most
I was using that
devout
before I even
followers.
saw her on.
I know,
on,
but I know. But what
yeah,
I'm saying
she does
is
use that.
her entire quote for that is fucking.
God is not necessary.
My favorite thing about the Manhunter book series is how Hannibal Lecter collects news articles of God collapsing churches in the middle of session. You know,
What? Wait, what was that?
You know Hannibal Lecter, right?
Yeah.
The Manhunter book series.
I haven't read them.
This is not a valid point, because if God's all knowing, he would have known we were going to call them dinosaurs and would have called them dinosaurs in whatever language.
Hold on, no, Neil, because he sat there and said that in the Bible it says behemoth, but if they were dragged,
it also says Leviathan.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that he sat there and said that the behemoth was a dinosaur. It's like, oh, but they didn't have dinosaur wasn't invented to this day. They just called them dragons. Then why did they not just call behemoth a fucking dragon?
Here's the thing I would like to point out about behemoth and as a whole. The whole behemoth as a sauropod is based on very outdated worldviews on how we thought sauropods actually lived. We thought that they couldn't support their own body weight on land, so that they had to live in swamps and water. And that's why people relate behemoth to sauropods, because behemoth is said to be a semi-amphibious large animal. It's more likely that behemoth is either an elephant or a hippopotamus. They just didn't know what the fuck that was. There's no evidence. There's nothing in the Bible that even directly makes it sound like a dinosaur. It's just a big animal. There are big animals throughout all of mythology. There are big animals since the dawn of humanity, because our earliest ancestors contended with some pretty big megafauna. We had Megalania in Australia, which was a giant lizard. We had woolly mammoths. We had giant ground sloths. Okay? Big animals have
Just
been...
in time for the end, Mikey.
I sped all the way home.
Well, real quick before
the main guest left. A couple other people have left, and I already said we're going to be wrapping this up anyways.
I was listening.
On Tangelo, before we can explain how we can exist without a creator, you still have to demonstrate that a creator exists.
No, I can explain how we can exist without a fucking creator. That's not hard.
Well, yeah,
we're a product of chemistry.
I want him to first demonstrate that a creator exists, because he was asked that a long time ago.
As a matter of fact, I just read an article where they're now even a step closer to demonstrating that abiogenesis was an actual thing.
No,
we're not quite there yet, but we're a big step closer.
I don't understand how anyone could.
That is awfully breezy, Mikey.
Sorry. It's Chicago, man. It's windy.
Yeah, you so.
I don't understand how anyone could be a young Earth creationist in today's day and age. It baffles me.
There's nothing to support that.
And they all say they follow the evidence, they follow the science. Yeah, they follow their Facebook groups that just circle jerk and give each other
things that sound sciencey but aren't.
No, they follow things that agree with their worldview.
Well, evidence is tricky.
Oh, hold it. This is one of my favorites. Why is there something rather than nothing? What's your definition of nothing, Otangelo? Because nothing, as you're thinking of it, like the absence of anything at all, does not exist.
It has never existed.
Everywhere we look, we find things. There is no such thing as nothing.
Yeah.
So something will always come from something.
Nothing has never been like we can't even fathom what nothing ex nihilo is. Like
that's right.
We can't even fathom it. Right. We can't fathom it whatsoever.
Nope. There's a really good Isaac Asimov debate. They do a debate in memoriam of him every year about nothing. It's
I'm a
splendid.
large animal, but I can clearly support my own weight. Boy, have I got everyone fooled.
But go ahead, Mikey.
Yeah, it's splendid. If you guys haven't checked out, I think it was like 2018 or 2017. 2017, yeah, Isaac Asimov debate. It's like everyone who's a big head in science is on the stage debating the existence of nothing.
Yep.
It's a fun 2 hours.
And this, by the way, at times low doesn't help you either, because the universe as we know it, this one, as far as we can tell, had some sort of a starting point. What happened before that, or what we call Planck time, we don't know. We do have, however, they now have evidences that there very well possibly will be other universes out there as well, which is why they changed it to cosmos and cosmology. Because now that encompasses more than just this universe. So the thing is we don't know.
The multiverse.
Because we don't know 100% yet, but we're getting there. Just because we may not ever know, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just because we don't know doesn't give you that right to take your little God wedge and shove it in there.
Well, I mean,
because you can't do that until you demonstrate that a God is real to begin with.
Have you guys heard of the cyclical universe theory?
Not without consent. No wedges.
The Big Bang,
consent.
Big Crunch, Big Bang, Big Crunch.
Yeah, the Big Bang, Big Crunch.
Mikey.
I always point that as to a possibility as to how a universe can exist without any creator, because if you are imaginative enough, you can think of billions of ways a universe can exist without a God. Now, we have evidence to support some ideas. Of course, we have no definitive idea because at a certain point, it's impossible to measure
Here we go. Here we go.
Which one?
Keep going, Jen. I'm gonna pull this one up because he's about to enter his own circle that he can't get out of with this question. Because if everything has a cause, then that means your God has a cause too.
Oh, but
where did your God come from?
I hate this fucking argument
because he can't be eternal, because infinities aren't real. They're mathematical, but they're not real.
I always hate this whole entire argument because it's pretty much fucking special pleading, and
it's 100% special pleading.
It gets fucking annoying.
My special guy gets a free pass on the whole has to have a cause. Sorry, pal, but if you're saying everything has to have a cause, then so does your God. So who's your God's God?
Super God.
Super God. And who's Super God's God?
Well,
Mega Super God.
It sounds like you guys...
Ultraman, and then it's Superman, and then it's Goku.
I was about to say, it sounds like you guys are just naming the next 5 Super Saiyans.
Right? See, my whole opinion on that whole the Saiyan Superman thing, I said, yeah. How about what is it? What do they call him now? Dr. Manhattan will wipe them all out. All right, so Superman's done, Goku's done, even Planet Destroying Hulk or whatever the fuck they call them. They're all done because Dr. Manhattan will just go, really? Bye. You're gone.
I bet Vision could take them.
Vision? What? No. Dr. Manhattan in the comics is fucking insane.
Mm-hmm. He is literally a god. He is everywhere all at once, which is omnipresence. He knows everything all at the same time. So that's why he fucking went away, because he's like, I know, I don't, what do you need me for? I know everything already. He fucked off.
That's like me and why I want to leave America. It's like me and why I want to leave America. You know what I mean? Like, you guys don't deserve me. Go somewhere else. Like Canada.
See?
Guys, I gotta jump off.
I call bullshit, Otazlo. I call bullshit because you're breaking your own rule with this whole thing right here. Your God doesn't get a special fucking pass if everything that begins to exist has a cause. Okay? Because your God would have had to have what's God's mom look like?
Probably a little bit like God in the eyes.
Why can't the universe be eternal?
Does God have a belly button? Yeah, exactly. Why can't it?
The only things that we know,
cyclical, like Jen was saying.
The only things that we know are somewhat eternal, and this doesn't mean that they've always existed, but will continue to exist as we know it, are the laws of physics. And even them, had a beginning. So if your God is more like a law or a mechanic or a faction of physics, even that God would have a beginning, because physics as we know it and how the world interacts with itself as we know it didn't start till after the Big Bang.
He's right, but there's no such thing as nothing at Tangelo, so you're already stuck. And your God doesn't get a special pass. Sorry. And tighten your reins is exactly right. If God doesn't, then God doesn't exist because he has no cause. And everything, so if everything that begins to exist has a cause, then God doesn't exist. He never began to exist because he has no cause.
Damn.
Sorry, pal.
Ain't that about a bitch?
And if he does exist, he's got a lot of fucking explaining to do. That's all I can tell you.
Bleed the
Because
fifth
of
god.
the second law of thermodynamics, and you cannot have an eternity by adding discrete sections of time.
Second, second. Hey, Otangelo. No, because he'll just Google it. What are the other laws of thermodynamics, Otangelo?
Let me. Oh, can I address this?
Please address this.
Okay, so Otangelo.
First of all, the Earth is not a closed system either. So
yeah. So, Otangelo, the thing is, whenever it comes to the second law of thermodynamics, it states that that everything goes to disorder within a closed system, and as Neil said, the Earth isn't a closed system. Or no, it's within an isolated system. Sorry, my bad.
State's trolling.
Within an isolated system, things go to disorder. The Earth is not an isolated system. And as far as we know it, I don't believe that the universe is an isolated system as well. And so
our universe is a closed system.
A closed system, but not an isolated. There's those three are like different things.
Sure, okay.
So while the universe is closed,
it'll die in a heat death eventually. We're talking like a number that has so many zeros after it, we don't even have a name for that number.
Mm-hmm. And so it's not, whenever we're talking about the Earth itself, it's not a closed system, so the entropy level does not increase or whatever, or the disorder doesn't go.
I want to talk about this next.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. Coelacanths have actually...
Coelacanth, by the way.
I call them coelacanths because I'm stupid. They are not. When people say living fossils, now here's a buzzword that younger creationists.
They were not around during the dinosaurs age.
Well, no, they were, but in a different form. In a different form, they were not the
previous generations.
We are not the coelacanths that we know today. They've actually, and you can actually look online. There are several great line mappings of all the different evolutionary paths that coelacanths have gone through. The same way that the catfish we have today are not the same catfish from 1,000 years ago when they started, or whenever catfish started becoming catfish. Everything is constantly adapting. They're very small changes.
All four
as soon as people started like playing right online.
Now.
See, people like me, for example, have an adaptation to become really drunk and know really stupid things. People thousands of years ago didn't do that.
Real quick.
Oh, I'm out of beer.
Neil, I got a question that I since you're learning things about
neuroscience.
Brain, neuroscience. Is narcissism learned or is it like genetic?
You know what? That's a good question. I haven't come across anything like that, but I kind of have my own thoughts on it. I think it may be a little bit of both.
Okay,
I think we're kind of born with the potential to be narcissistic, and then you get nurtured into being narcissistic or not being narcissistic.
Yeah,
I think we have potential for a lot of things where either they become a learned trait or they don't.
Yeah, and I have the same. I'm kind of following along the same lines. I also think that it's possible that someone could be born narcissistic, depending on certain. I'm gonna say the certain way the brain develops and whatnot while growing or whatever. But I sat there and like it was a question that my ex just asked me. She was like, "Help! Is narcissism learned or genetic?" I was like, "IDK, possibly both." Mm-hmm.
I mean, the nature versus nurture debate when it comes to different facets of mental health and mental disorders and things of the like has gone on for centuries. So it could be sometimes it's nature, sometimes it's nurture. Really, nobody has any idea. I've never seen a study on narcissism specifically.
I would love
Robert,
to have somebody do that.
But I was born perfect, so I don't have narcissism.
Of course.
Robert, I hate to break it to you, but a rock was found here in Canada that they used a very reliable, to literally within a couple of thousand years, dating system that pointed it. It's the oldest rock ever found on the surface of the Earth so far, and it's 3.8 billion years old. Your young Earth is not the truth.
There are trees alive today that are older than the flood.
Yeah, well, that are older than 6,000 years, dude.
Yeah, there are trees that are alive today that have outlived the creation in Genesis and have outlived Noah's flood. So both of those things are absolute bullshit.
Well, if the flood happened, there'd be so much evidence for it, but there's nothing.
Well, no, they try to look for evidence. Like they say the Grand Canyon is a cause of the flood, when in reality what we know is that it was a gradual erosion due to the Colorado River, right?
Yeah.
And then like they try to say that's why in the mountains, and this is probably where the Great Flood started. People found seashells on top of mountains or whatever of fossilized mollusks that died out billions of years ago. Before the extinction of the dinosaurs, and they thought, hey, there must have been a great flood and washed up all these seashells up here.
Yeah, that's not how floods work.
So the thing is, when it comes to the trees argument you just brought up is we have individual trees, and then we have actual like cluster of trees that are older than the flood. And so it's fucking hilarious because it's like, because what a lot of them like to do is they sit there and say, no, it's the tree clusters and yada, yada, yada. What?
Noah's Ark has never been fucking found, Atangelo, okay? That's bullshit, and you know
Oh, no, Neil, it has been found, but it's been found in like 7 different places.
Oh, right.
It was in China, it was in China, it was in North Korea, it was on Ararat.
It's not on Mount Ararat. I've been to fucking Mount Ararat. It's not there.
Oh, no. It's been claimed that it was found there.
No, it has not been found there. Dude, that's fucking
in Tibet. My dad thinks it's in Tibet.
Neil, I also don't think that it was found in China. I also don't think it was found in North Korea. I'm saying these are where it's been claimed to have been found. Is China, North Korea, Mount Ararat, as Jen here said, Tibet. Like, how many more places does it need to be found before we can realize that maybe that's not right?
With all our modern technology and all of our phones that have HD cameras in them, we have not yet gotten a picture of Noah's Ark.
Nope.
We've never gotten a picture of it.
Robert,
it's like Bigfoot.
It never happened. If it happened, we would know. Okay, geologists would know. Everyone see, I hate it because my brain is all frazzled out now because I've been up since 4 in the fucking morning. So.
Oh, same.
Anyways, guys, I gotta go. I gotta get the hell out of here. I got people waiting for me. So.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Caller, and
it's been fun.
My guest is already gone. He's been gone for a little bit now. So thank you everyone for tuning in and watching Jeff and I hang out and chat earlier. I hope you guys enjoyed the chat. I am going to take off now and go watch some football. I got some food waiting for me downstairs, so I'm kind of looking for that. Right? Oh, sure. Now you show up. Sorry, buddy, but we're shutting her down.
Is this American football?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. CFL is probably going to fold. Just so you know.
What?
Because they can't do. They're not going ahead with CFL, so it's probably going to fold.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't believe you, Atangelo. So.
What did he say? I don't have it pulled up right now.
Right now, our archaeological expedition.
Okay, this is an easy one. Why do we have flood legends from all over the earth? Okay, you know why? Because all those flood legends happened at different times. localized floods is not a global flood. If there was a global flood, first of all, there couldn't have been a global flood because of all the water on the planet. You'd have all the salt water mixing with the fresh water. It would have killed everything. Okay? The ground, especially after being covered in water for 40 fucking days and nights or whatever, the ground would not recover from that. You wouldn't be able to grow shit on it.
Oh well, no, it wasn't.
Nothing
just
would be
that.
alive left in the oceans. Nothing would.
Rained.
Maybe the jellyfish.
It rained for 40 days and 40 nights,
Right.
but apparently the water stayed on there for over a year.
Oh, sure. Well, it would have to. Where would it go really quickly?
Exactly.
Anyways, I'm not going to address these ridiculous questions anymore.
Also, if you look at all of the global flood mythologies, they all are around floodplains. Imagine that one.
Yep,
I want
all
to say
those
one
mythologies are around
last thing
floodplains, that's
about
right.
the global flood legends. The Chinese global flood legend is that a god took what is essentially a Chinese spear and stabbed the heavens, and it bled water. So if you're trying to lump all of these in together, you believe in some Chinese god going up on top of a mountain and stabbing the sky and making it bleed water. I'm just saying, like, if you want to lump all of these global flood legends together, you have to take every single one of them and piece particle them. All right,
I gotta go. Yeah, I know. All the global floods are just mythologies. All right, thanks everyone. And like the late great Carl Sagan once said, extraordinary claims. Listen up, Patangelo and the other guy, I can't remember his name.
Robert.
Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. We'll see you guys next time.
We should